My name is Joseph Furness, and I'm using the first Scribner paperback fiction edition of 1995. The first paragraph is taken from page 25, about one-sixth of the way through the story. He no longer dreamed of storms, nor of women, nor of great occurrences, nor of great fish, nor fights, nor contests of strength, nor of his wife. He only dreamed of places now, and of the lions on the beach. They played like young cats in the dusk, and he loved them as he loved the boy. He never dreamed about the boy. He simply woke, looked out the open door at the moon, and unrolled his trousers and put them on. He urinated outside the shack, and then went up the road to wake the boy. He was shivering with the morning cold, but he knew he would shiver himself warm, and that soon he would be rowing. I believe this paragraph shows an insight on Hemingway's past and how he feels about certain things now that he is older when he writes his book. It states that the old man no longer dreams about, which I feel is Hemingway's way of saying that those things aren't as important to him anymore. He may think that women are no longer one of his main concerns since he was known as a womanizer, or that great fish or trophy animals shouldn't be seen as just a trophy, and more of a beautiful living creature. He also states that he no longer dreams of great strength or fights because he no longer has that feeling since he is becoming older and no longer feels as manly as he was when he was younger. The old man dreaming of only beautiful animals and places could show that he is turning to thinking of nature as something more than just a way of showing his manliness. This paragraph shows Hemingway's shortened style of writing, with the way he lists what the old man doesn't dream about, and how he starts every sentence with he, and then follows it with something short. The second paragraph is taken from pages 62 and 63, about halfway through the story. The line rose slowly and steadily, and then the surface of the ocean bulged ahead of the boat, and the fish came out. He came out unendingly, and water poured from his sides. He was bright in the sun, and his head and back were dark purple, and in the sun the stripes on his sides showed wide and light lavender. His sword was as long as a baseball bat, and tapered like a rapier, and he rose his full length from the water and then re-entered it, smoothly like a diver. And the old man saw the scythe blade of his tail, the great scythe blade of his tail go under, and the line commenced to race out. This paragraph is describing when he first saw the fish that he was fighting. He uses very descriptive words and phrases to explain just how big and great this fish was. The use of the word unendingly makes the reader feel as if the fish is enormous. Hemingway liked to use baseball references in this book, and it is shown when he describes the fish's sword as being as long as a baseball bat. The use of the word rapier when describing the sword also gives the reader a clear insight on what it looks like. I like how descriptive Hemingway is with describing how smooth the fish was, like a diver, and how his tail was like that of a scythe blade. Hemingway seems to not use his original shortest style of writing in this paragraph, and actually writes some great long sentences that fully catch the reader's attention. The third paragraph is taken from pages 107 and 108, about 5/6 of the way through the story. The old man made the sheet fast and jammed the tiller. Then he took up the oar with the knife lashed to it. He lifted it as lightly as he could because his hands rebelled at the pain. Then he opened and closed them on it lightly to loosen them. He closed them firmly so they would take the pain now, it would not flinch, and watch the sharks come. He could see their wide, flattened, shovel-pointed heads now, and their white-tipped, wide pectoral fins. They were hateful sharks, bad-smelling, scavengers as well as killers. And when they were hungry, they would bite at an oar on the rudder of a boat. It was these sharks that would cut the turtles' legs and flippers off when the turtles were asleep on the surface. And they would hit a man in the water if they were hungry, even if the man had no smell of fish blood nor of fish slime on him. This paragraph is one that describes the second shark attack, but with much worse sharks that are out to get what they want. It talks about how the man goes through such great pain with his hands just to lift up the oar to attack the sharks. He is very descriptive with describing how the sharks look, especially their heads, as that is what the old man is aiming for when he goes to kill him. The use of shovel-pointed allows the reader to get a good idea on what the heads look like as they were coming towards the old man. The use of the words hateful, bad-smelling, and killers starts to show just what type of sharks this old man is dealing with. He then continues to describe how mean these sharks were by saying they would attack boats and even innocent turtles that were asleep at the surface. My favorite part in how he describes the shark is at the end, when he states that they will bite a man even if it didn't smell like the food that they were used to. This gives the reader an insight on how dangerous these sharks were, not to only the man, but especially the fish that he had caught. It also seems like it is foreshadowing or leading the reader to believe that the man will not be coming home with all of his great catch. This paragraph also doesn't seem to show Hemingway's usual style of writing, because he is so long with the way he describes things, as he usually is short with such descriptions.